Good evening, everybody. I hope you're all well. Ria, you were absolutely awesome. Now I have the incredible honor. I'm so excited to introduce my role model and accountability partner, active world team member Liesel Jordan, to share with us the next part. Just a little bit about her healing. Liesel has a background as a divorce attorney with her own practice for 7 years. She started off as a client with Herbalife, initially lost 32 kilograms, and this year she's refocused on becoming the best version of herself, and already so super focused, she's already starting to see great results. So 3.5 years ago, Liesel decided to go full-time in the business. She persisted through challenges, and this has really contributed to growth for her. So with a very, very clear vision and goals, Liesel wants to get 2,500 by December 2017. And she's so focused that I'm sure she's going to achieve this. The Future President's Team Retreat at the end of the year. So Liesel's really working hard on herself and setting a great example for all of us. She's developing and implementing the daily disciplines that are specifically in the Compound Effect and a few other books that she's also tackled. So without any further ado, Liesel, you are using from this chapter acceleration to achieve your goals this year.
Wow, sure. Thanks, Bronwyn. That was quite an introduction. I really appreciate that. Okay, so I'm going to jump straight in. As you guys know by now, The Compound Effect is one of those books that has really just changed my perspective on a lot of things. I've worked through it a number of times, and every time there's just something different that I get out of the book. Sorry, so if we can go to the first slide, please, Bia. Okay, what I thought I would do is to actually just summarize what we've done so far in the book, because Darren has a very specific way in which he approached implementing the compound effect in a positive way in your life. And we started off by looking first at choices and how the choices we take or the choices we don't even take, so even when you're not making a choice, you are still choosing, how those choices influence our habits. And if those are positive choices and they result in positive habits, over time, those habits become automated. In other words, we do them without even thinking. And that's when momentum starts kicking in. And once we've got momentum, it's important that we keep it going, because there are influences along the way, and there are challenges that come along the way, and we need to be able to stand strong and know how to deal and handle those influences. And then the chapter that I'm going to be focusing on this evening is the final chapter, where he talks about acceleration, where if you've gotten to the point where you've got Big Mo on your side and things are really going well for you, how you can even accelerate even faster and make the compound effect work even better for you. Next slide, please, Bia. Okay, so the chapter on acceleration is really the simple old saying of mind over matter. Oftentimes we think ourselves out of doing certain things because there are things that influence us, because there are other people who influence us, and it doesn't have to be that way. If we stand strong in what we believe in and the actions that we've taken and the things that we've implemented along the way, we should actually always be okay. He refers to the moment of truth, and he says the moment of truth comes when you prepare, you practice, and you study, and you consistently put in the effort to make a success. And then one of life's greatest questions happen, because those challenges start coming. Universe, or whoever it is, whichever higher power it is that you believe in, puts these challenges there to see how serious you are about really achieving your goals, how serious you are about making a change in your life. It's one thing saying it, it's another thing doing it and sticking with it no matter what. So are you going to be the person that pushes through, or are you going to be the person that gives up the first time the challenge arrives, or the first time the challenge gets too challenging? It's that decision in that minute that you make, where you either quit or you carry on, that defines who you are, but also who you are becoming. It's that breakthrough that you're looking for. So the moment of truth he refers to as hitting the wall. Hasim, you're a cyclist, so you'll know all about hitting the wall as a cyclist as well. And it could be mental, it could be emotional, it could be physical. If you're a cyclist, it will probably be a combination of all of those. But it's not getting to the wall that's the problem or that's important. It's what you do when you get there. So when you're confronted with this obstacle, you get to choose whether you go ahead when others quit. That's what differentiates you from other people. Because most people, when they hit that obstacle, will turn around and run and say, I don't want to expend energy on this, or, oh, well, he has an obstacle now, so I guess I can't go ahead. Instead of trying to figure out how can I go over or around or even through the obstacle, but finding a way to carry on. And that can only happen when you are so clear about your goals and your dreams and the things that you are reaching for, that no matter the size of the obstacle, you'll just figure out a way to learn from it and get around it and move on. So when these obstacles or these challenges happen, as difficult as it sometimes is, and trust me, the bigger the goal, the more bigger and the more daunting the challenges that comes your way. You need to see it as an opportunity. You shouldn't see it as an obstacle. Because only when times are tough, when there are these problems and all of these temptations around you, that you get to prove how worthy you are for progress. Was it just big talk, or are you matching your action with the talk? And Jim Rohn says it beautifully when he says, don't wish it were easier, wish that you were actually better. Next slide, please, Bea. Okay, so what I want to share with you guys now, and I really felt quite strongly about sharing this with you all. Some of you might be familiar with it. I know it's not from the compound effect, but it ties so well in with this whole issue around obstacles. And this is a training that Lauren Swanepoel did at the Leadership Development Weekend in June last year. We refocused on the different phases that we go through when we're faced with obstacles. So if you guys would indulge me, and I think it's quite appropriate because we're getting him as a trainer in a couple of weeks' time. So I thought everyone could really benefit from this. He says that when you're living a purpose-driven life, you will go through all of these stages. So if you look on the left-hand side, there's your comfort zone. And most people are very comfortable there because it's familiar. Then those who decide to stay in the comfort zone, nothing will ever change for them. In actual fact, things will probably get worse for them because they're not focused on changing anything. Then you get people who decide, you know what, let me stick my toes out and let me go into that uncomfortable phase. And they start moving away from their comfort zone, but bam, there's the first obstacle that comes along their way. And oftentimes at these first obstacles, there are influencers. He refers to them as the border bullies. Those are the people who tell you, but why are you making these changes? Why are you wanting to lose weight? I like you just the way you are. You don't need to lose weight. Or we're fine. Why do you want to change things? Why do you want to earn more money? We're getting along just fine. The reason people who are close to you, or these border bullies, feel threatened by your sudden change and when you decide to make a change for yourself is because it will force them to get out of their comfort zones. So you're making things a bit uncomfortable for them when you do that. So their way to deal with that is to retaliate and rather try and push you back into your comfort zone. But the important thing to remember is that your dream can only be stolen if you let them do it. And that takes me back to what Darren Hardy said. Who are the 5 people that you are spending your most time with? Who are the people that are influencing you? So if these people don't want to let go and give you the space that you need, should you really be having these people around you? But then there are some people who manage to get through this first obstacle and they keep going and they keep going, but they're still a little bit unsure. And just before they get to that second obstacle, or when they see that second obstacle, they decide, heck no, why did I leave my comfort zone? This feels too unsure. Perhaps I'm not really doing the right thing. Perhaps I should just go back to what I was doing before, because that was familiar and I knew what to expect. And after having done all the hard work to get through the first obstacle, they turn around at obstacle 2 and go back to their comfort zone. And this Lawrence refers to as the wasteland. And this is the part where you think you've lost your dream, because there are pressures of life, and you quit and you leave your dream in the wasteland because you think you're putting in all this work, you're not really seeing anything. Is it really worth it? Rather go back to what was familiar, rather go back to the security that you had with the known. And then people turn around and they don't push through. Then you get some people who do push through the second obstacle, and they've done a lot of work to get through obstacle 1 and obstacle 2. But suddenly they have these anxiety attacks and they start worrying about whether they're making the right decisions. Other people start telling them, you've been doing this thing for so long, but we're not really seeing results. Do you think that you're actually good enough? Do you think that this is meant to be for you? And they start thinking that themselves as well. And he calls this obstacle, he calls the Alcatraz experience. This is where you imprison yourself with your own self-limiting beliefs. You believe that perhaps it's meant for other people, but not for you. And because of that, you turn around and run and go back to your comfort zone where everything is familiar, but where nothing has changed and nothing gets better for you in your life. And then some people keep on persisting and keep pushing through, and they break through that third obstacle, but then fear sets in. They're worried. Will this work? Is this something they can do long term? Is this really going to impact them in the way that they want? Are they going to see results? And unfortunately, that is right before they make that breakthrough where they actually reach their goals or where they reach their dreams. So in the end, for you to stay laser focused on your dreams and on your goals, you have to be sure that those dreams and goals are the things that really speak to you inside your heart. Not just the things that are nice to have or perhaps nice to achieve. What are the things that stir you on the inside? Because if those are the things that you focus on, no matter what the obstacles are, no matter whether you have unsure moments or an anxiety attack here and there, or you might be fearful every now and then, you'll snap out of it very quickly and you'll keep on pushing through no matter what. Next slide, please, Via. Okay, so in the book, he talks about multiplying your results. And it's not that you have to do massive things. It's just about adding a little bit more effort. And by doing so, you can add exponentially to your outcomes. In other words, by just doing a little bit more each day, consistently, you can quadruple the results that you've had. A great example here is weight training. This is something that I can relate to. He refers to it in the book as well. And oftentimes with these types of things, we have self-limiting beliefs. And if I think to weight training, oftentimes your trainer tells you to do 10 repetitions of a specific exercise because that's sort of your maximum that you should be able to do. And you get to that 10th rep and your arms are shaking and you're pushing. And your trainer then says, let's see if we can squeeze out another 2. And your mind is already telling you, but 10 was your maximum. Sorry, you can't do more than 10. And sometimes just by having someone in your corner, someone showing you that you can do more. What will often happen is my trainer will come and stand behind me and he won't touch my arms, but his hands will be like here, just like this under my arms. And he'll say, come on, push. And somehow you find the strength just because you know there's almost your brain is funny that way. You think that the person is helping you physically, but they're not. It's just because you know that should you not be able to make it, there will be those hands there to help you push further. But he's not touching you. You're doing it on your own. And by breaking through that barrier where you had the self-limiting belief that you could only manage 10, you've now expanded your limits and you multiply the results of what you're doing. Because the next time you'll do the 12 reps, no problem, because you know you could do it the first time around. It was the same with the 4-minute mile. No one thought anyone could ever break the 4-minute mile until Roger Bannister one day broke the 4-minute mile. Then suddenly everyone found it possible to break the 4-minute mile. So you need to be the Roger Bannister for you in your life. And you need to see how you can expand your limits and push yourself a little bit further. So you need to see yourself as your toughest competitor. Remember, this is your journey. You're not comparing yourself to anyone else's journey. And it's not the same, no matter whether you have the same background or not. Each person needs to develop in their own way and find their own way. And it's not good enough to just do enough. You need to push past what other people expect of you. A great example, is someone who just sells Herbalife versus someone who's a Herbalife coach. We don't just sell products to people. Dennis Dowdell, who's a presidency member in the US, did a great training where he said, what is our job? Our job is not to get customers. Our job is to get people results. And this is what we do when we're a Herbalife health coach. And this doesn't just apply to business. This applies to every aspect of your life. Are you following, or are you presenting the right example for your clients? Are you coaching them on healthy living and how to lose weight, but you're not focused and you're not doing the same on your side? You need to check yourself on each one of those things. And then when you hit the wall, you need to ask, where can you do more than expected? Because it's when you push past that boundary and you look to find ways how you can do better and be more, that's when you'll shatter that wall and you'll do even better the next time the next obstacle comes. It's also important to do the unexpected. I love when he says what's popular is average, it's actually common, and common things lead to common results. And that's the truth. Lawrence Swanepoel said in his training, you don't need to settle for a so-so life, where when you could be, sorry, that doesn't read right, but when you could be living your dreams. It's about living your dreams and doing whatever it takes to achieve them. And the extra effort that you put in, when you've already got momentum on your side and you've got systems and procedures in place and routines in place and the habits are all automated, that little bit of extra effort that you put in doesn't cost half as much more money or energy, but the rewards will be so much greater. And you need to do whatever it takes to make yourself stand out. Next slide, please, Via. And it's about doing better than expected. Find out what the level of expectation is and then resolve to exceed it in whichever way you can. That becomes a big part of your reputation, and that's what you will get known for. This excellence multiplies your results in the marketplace many times over. So if your client knows you're the one that sends them the extra little motivation message, they get an email from you every now and then, you stay in touch, you make that extra effort, every now and then you perhaps pop a nice little note in their order and say, I'm so proud of you. The recognition that we do on the group chats for them, if you've got a client group chat, or even on Facebook and tagging them in it, we might think these are little things or inconsequential things, but they make a massive difference to people. And that's how you can differentiate yourself, because we all have the same products, we all have the same marketing plan. The only difference is us. We are the variable. So if we want to differentiate ourselves from the person next to us who's doing Herbalife, that's what we need to find. What sets us apart from everyone else? And people are so accustomed that these days most things and services and people don't meet their expectations. So they're almost waiting to be disappointed. And we can show them that we are different. And you can adopt these philosophies in your habits, your disciplines, and your routines on a daily basis. I decided to add in the conclusion chapter on what that Darren Hardy had in his book as well, because there's a couple of key points that he focuses on there. And he says that learning without execution is useless. So it's all good and well for us to read these personal development books, but we don't implement anything. Nothing will still change if that's how you operate. And you can read this book or attend the training and come out of there super excited and motivated. But if you don't take those key little gems that you took out of a training or out of a book and you put it into action, you're just leading yourself to self-delusion. I personally think that this is one of the best books I've ever read. For me, this is almost like a handbook for my life. And if you think about those black and yellow books that you see in the bookstores that says Windows for Dummies or Computers for Dummies, this is almost How to Be Exceptional for Dummies. It's a very simple book, and the guides and the sheets that he supplies you with in the book, if you haven't used them, I encourage you to use them. I've started using the rhythm register more regularly because I've seriously implemented a lot of the routines and habits that I've chosen for myself. And again, it's a personal thing. How I start my day might not be the best way for you to start your day. You need to find what works for you. But what I can tell you guys is that since I've started implementing those things, and I'm not near perfect at all, I still slip up here and there, but the point is the rhythm register is a good way for me to check myself and to make sure that if my goal was to exercise 3 times a week, that I've actually done the 3 times a week. And ticking it off on that rhythm register. It also impacts differently on how you think, because you've got the sheet in front of you and you're ticking it off, and your brain understands you've actually completed something, you've committed to something, and you've done it. So for me personally, the book is something that's by my side. I use it all the time and refer back to it as a reference guide. And as Herbalife coaches, we want to go out and change people's lives daily. We want to be significant. We want to make a difference. But this can only happen when we start doing things differently. And the choice is ours. We can either live the next 5 years like we lived the last 5 years and nothing changes for us, or we can take these little things, as inconsequential as they may seem, and start implementing them and do them as a habit for at least 21 days so that that habit starts getting ingrained. And studies show that you need to repeat a habit 300 times consecutively before it becomes automated on average. So that's almost a full year of doing the same thing consistently day in and day out before it will really kick in. But again, the choice is yours. You need to decide. You need to decide what you want to do. Just in closing, from my side, there's a little personal development clip that I listened to earlier today, and it said, "You don't have forever." And the guy repeated it about 4 times to the crowd of people that he was talking to. And he said, "Do you understand? You need to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you don't have forever, because you don't. Time goes by in a flash like this. One day becomes a week, becomes a month, becomes a year, becomes 5 years. If you don't start today and start making small changes here and there, things will get worse. They won't get better." And he also said, be deliberate in everything that you do. In other words, before you decide to tackle something or to do something, whatever the next action is that you're going to take. And I'm not just referring to in your business. If you are about to go and plonk yourself down in front of the television and watch a program, think about what you're doing. Is that in alignment with your goals? Are you being deliberate with your actions leading towards your goals and your dreams that you have? So yeah, that's it. That's it from my side. Thanks, Bia.
Absolutely, wow. I don't know how everybody is feeling, but this was absolutely stunning. I could have not wished for anything better, but it's up to Bronwyn now to make the closing, first of all, for the call from Liesl, because she has started it, so she has also the honor to finish it, and then obviously we go in the planning for our next focus group. But this was from my side. Thank you so much. Absolutely brilliant. I took notes. I read the books, I think, already 6-7 times, but I'm still getting inspired by all of your trainings you did so far. And this was absolutely brilliant, the cherry on top of the cream. Thank you. Bronwyn?
Liesl, thank you. That was absolutely awesome. I really enjoyed it. But I think mostly, I think everybody has definitely taken something away from this. For me, I'm really grateful for you adding in a bit about Lawrence Swanepoel, about the influence, the wasteland, and for me specifically, the Alcatraz experience. allowing yourself to become imprisoned by self-limiting beliefs. This is definitely something that I'm working through. And what is excellent about that is that we all go through this, and just putting it in sort of a visual format that you can actually see it, and the fact that everybody will go through that in an effort to achieve your dreams, it really makes you want to actually push through those walls and those barriers to achieve your goals. So thank you very much for all your hard preparation and the work that you've put into this, because I'm definitely inspired. So thank you very much again.
Thanks, Bronwyn. It was a great pleasure.
Beautiful. March is writing absolutely awesome as usual, Liesl. Thank you. I just open up the call to everybody. If you want to give some feedback, maybe one specific sentence, what you have learned tonight, or overall, as we are at the conclusion part already. So just back to all of you. Open call. So don't tell me nobody has learned something. So the question was, what specifically did you learn tonight or out of the book?
Okay, I'll go first. Can I speak? Okay. Liesl, first of all, I've told you before, if you do a presentation, I don't care what happens, I'm there. I won't miss it. I think you are exceptionally good with it. So thank you for that. And from my side, and we are on that actual screen, do better than expected. So often we would go and do something, and people will say, "Wow, but you're so good," but we don't believe that. We don't believe that we're that good. And again, I see now that we have to out of that Alcatraz thing, like you said about Lawrence, and thank you for dealing with that one again, because I have that in my book from the LDW, and I go back to it all the time. So I was stuck on that fear section for a long time, and I needed to break through. So thank you for that. That's basically all.
Hi, Liesl. Liesl, for me, the rhythm register is what got me this evening. I am familiar with a lot of the things you spoke about, and forming the habits for 21 days, and I think the 300 days is more of what we need to do. So I like the rhythm register, and thank you so much for always being so informative. Thank you. Your inspiration is great.
Thank you.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Also just to echo what Ria said about doing better than expected. And a good example is this evening I had new campers at FitCamp, and whilst chatting to them and speaking to them, I discovered that 2 of them has been previously on Herbalife, and they had actually not a good experience. And that just I'm gonna say that just with the training tonight just showed me that I need to be better than what I expected, because so much other people drag the name down, and it's my responsibility to do so much more that people can see what we really are about. And when I first read on the first slide about hitting the wall, Lawrence Swanepoel immediately came to my mind, and then the next slide, Lawrence Swanepoel. And for me, this is a key thing, because in my journey, in my Herbalife journey, actually any journey in my life, but let's use my Herbalife journey quickly, I've hit a couple of walls. And the first couple of walls was walls, but I could go through it. But then I got myself to a wall where I know for a fact I have the personality. I will run through the wall. Doesn't matter how big or how I'll go through it. But then I found myself standing in front of the wall, looking up and down, and I don't know what I was thinking, and the wall actually challenged me. But the thing that I learned by standing by the wall was I got to know myself, and what the things that I need to do to break through that wall. What are the things that I need to implement, and how I must break that wall, how I must break my goals down in order to go through that wall. So the wall was very good for me because it taught me who I was. actually had to have a look at myself and who am I. So really, really, really thank you. Thanks, Lisa. It was brilliant, man. Really proud. Nice. Thanks.
Awesome. Some more responses?
Anna-Marie is speaking, but nothing is coming through.
Let's see. I didn't mute anybody, so if you have muted Anne-Marie.
Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you loud and clear.
Liesl, I think your message was absolutely amazing. I love it when you talk because you really inspire me. I really liked what you said about learning new habits, and we all teach to our clients, yes, 21 days, but we tend to lose our focus in trying to help our clients. So I really like what you said there, and especially the register. It makes you think of how to make it easier so that you can keep track of yourself and so that you can have yourself accountable as well. So yes, and the part with Lawrence, I also wrote it down at the Leadership Development Weekend, and I go to it a lot. I actually have it on my phone, but it's nice to sometimes just hear it again and have the whole effect of it. So thank you very much for that.
Pleasure.
Beautiful.
Hi, Liesl. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear you?
Hi, Liesl. Thank you very much once again for your beautiful presentation. Yeah, going that extra mile for our clients, you reminded me of the time when one of my clients mentioned that they're going to Groot Schuur for some liver problem, and she gave me the name, and we were discussing Herbalife, and then she came back to me and she mentioned the name again, and I said, oh, I know what that is, and I explained to her, and she just looked wide-eyed at me, and she said, oh, but you know. So I said, well, I heard you talking about it, so I went to read it up, and I looked at it, and actually it means, and et cetera, because she wants to go on Herbalife. Well, that was the one thing that that stood out for me, was that how surprised she was and how she actually was excited that I did that. The other thing was also your statement you made that you are not here forever. That was very profound. That last statement you made, I'm not sure if I got the wording correct, but that was quite profound. And I think it does leave its mark. So from me, it was great, and I've learned quite a lot, and the presentations are always great. Thank you very much, Liesl.
Thanks, Soraya.
Thanks, Soraya. Anybody else?
Lisa, you were awesome.
Okay, let's give a big clap.
Okay, thank you.
I wrote
You
a
always
lot
want to
down. I wrote in big letters, which is you don't have forever. That really.
You don't have forever, yeah.
Big
There we go.
Yeah, brings me basically, how do we want to continue in the focus group? I personally would suggest we continue. Liesl did one now. She made already the conclusion, which I thought we make the next time, but no worries. We still make.
Sorry.
No. We still make our personal conclusion. So what I would suggest for the next time, each one of you has, and I wrote down all the names who are on the call, so don't forget, I know who was on the call, and I recorded the call, so I can go back to the recording even, and you can go back. So you don't even hide. If you miss the next call because you don't want to talk about your personal conclusions, how you want to go forward, you pay 200 Rand to the Herbalife Family Foundation. I guarantee you. I think that's the minimum we can here agree. Are you in?
We're in.
Okay,
We're
cool.
in.
I mean, you can pay to the Herbalife Family Foundation, but be anyway on the call, okay? So the next time I would suggest each one of you at least has written down a couple of things. If you want to, and you can send it to me on Sunday evening on one slide, then I basically can put one PowerPoint presentation together, because it's easier to listen while you can read the conclusion from everybody. Conclusion is what you got out of the book. Personalize it a little bit more. Specifically, how did it impact you? Maybe it impacted you in your eating habits, maybe it's in your work, in your business, whatever it is, but be a little bit more specific. What is the change you have got started? Because if you don't start somewhere, I mean, we heard about it, then it leads to nowhere. So it's just another book which you read, which ends up on your shelf and nothing happens. So there must be some plan of action, at least for one action, which we can share. So this is what we do the next time, so each one of us. And then obviously we have for next week our Sunday Quick Start training coming up. So who is doing the Quick Start? Cheryl did it with brilliance this Sunday. We had a full house on Sunday again. And again, the guests who were on the call, yeah, Cheryl, well done. They sign up. I got the confirmation today. Roxana had guests also on the call, and she confirmed as well. So whatever you did, Cheryl, was the right thing you did. Brilliantly. Well done. So who is doing the call on Sunday?
Vanessa.
Can I get a confirmation, Vanessa? Are you nodding?
Yes, Bea, that's fine.
We accept. Brilliant. Awesome. Woo-hoo-hoo. Perfect. So Vanessa is doing the call on Sunday. And then obviously Cheryl is promoting Vanessa. Don't forget to start on Friday latest to send out the promotion for the Quick Start 500 with the link for the webinar and everything. And then we have our next members call coming up, and my suggestion would be we go a little bit into product training. I have often people asking about the products, and I think it's time that we have a little bit of product training, and basically in a very straightforward line, not doing too much scientific stuff, but really how the people can promote the product, and basically also to get interested to use them, the products by themselves. So who is willing to take that on and does the product training?
I think Anne-Marie is raising her hand, but her sound is not coming through again, yeah?
Let's see. Anne-Marie? Okay, we can't hear you, but we see you nodding, so you get it. Awesome. Perfect. Okay, then I shut down here Anne-Marie. And then we have Vanessa for the Sunday. And conclusion for the focus group, we do all. And one more thing now for the future with our focus group. Lisa made already a suggestion for a book which she loves second most after the compound effect, or maybe it's her favorite now, or in combination. And she sent it out to all of us. She was mentioning it the last Monday already. Is everybody interested that we take that on as our next journey to read into the Essentialists? Yes?
Yes, Bea.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes, Bea.
Perfect. Okay. I think then we have exactly 1 week time to get the order done. I checked already. You find it on Takealot to order online. I think there's also the audiobook for those who like more the audiobook. I'm a paper person. I need it in paper, and to take notes basically in my book helps me much more, but you need to know how you learn the best. Then we get organized till next Monday to have the book available, that we basically latest from next Monday onwards get started to read also in that one, and we just continue in the same flow. One more task I would like to share with you for this week, and this is to also get used to promote our events which are upcoming. So what do you think at the moment? That's now the last question I have for tonight. What events are coming up in the recent time, in the future, which are important for our members?
Quick start, Lawrence Swanepoel.
Okay, Lisa, that sounded very interesting with your voice, but I don't Swanepoel. You hear the voice now like you were drinking a lot. Even more. Okay. Okay. That sounds scary. Definitely, we have on the 10th of February, Lawrence Swanepoel. You have seen already that magic slide he was sharing there with us. He only had at the LDW not even an hour to share his experience with us. So we can expect a lot on the 10th of February. And believe it or not, work harder on yourself than in your business. This was always what Jim Rohn taught us. And the longer I am in Herbalife, in business, the more I understand that powerful sentence, work harder on yourself. And it's the most difficult part. And this is why I believe big time all of us, but not just us, needed, should be there. We need to inspire our people. So those who have seen already Lawrence Swanepoel at the last LDW, please, please, please find once a day the opportunity to make a promotion why one should go to that specific Friday training, and make it with 2-3 sentences, make it with a voice message. Not everybody on the same day. So if you have seen one of your colleagues has done it already, then keep it for the next day. But that on a daily basis, basically, the reminder comes for Lawrence Swanepoel. What is also another big event which is coming up? LDW. The Leadership Development Weekend is for everybody a key element. Now we need to look as leaders into our downlines. Who is there who we want to develop to a supervisor to be there? Still, it's January. You're going to see people who sign up now and they build it the right architecture just with a lot of focus and a lot of effort and a lot of balance assessments and a lot of clients to get basically to the level of a supervisor till the end of March. So all the qualifications, even when the flyer does not say it right now, but if they qualify up to the event, meaning the last volume point is made on a Saturday morning, they still can go. I guarantee you, I do anything to get them still into the event. And we need to look at our people now. It's not about March where we think that, oh, actually that one could have made it. I was maybe a little bit too lazy to talk to them. I should have put more effort into them. I should have made maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 more shake parties with them, or beauty parties, or whatever it is. So it's now on us to look into our downlines and even at the brand new members and thinking of who can I develop. Also to look at the supervisors you have in your downline who haven't done the 2.5 or accumulated the 4,000 to qualify for the LDW, that you give the right support and ask, how can I assist you to make it for the LDW? So please don't underestimate that. And obviously, we want to send out now the information. You have seen I did a little bit of lucky draw promotion today, which you can also use for yourself by basically putting up there your order number from the ticket. 3 I have already in the lucky draw, but I'm sure there's a couple of more tickets already bought. So funny enough, even Hasim didn't send his order number because he does not know how to find the order number. So you better find out how to find your order number as a future leader or one leader. Okay, so also let's promote the LDW. So we need to promote really our events. Lawrence Swanepoel is coming forth his big personal development. We have him then on Saturday for all our guests and members for the recognition on the 11th of February. And we have then our LDW coming up in March. So it's really time for focus, 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 focus. Knowing all your goals you have here on the call, we need to be focused on using these events to use them to our advantage and not just letting things happen, basically making things happen. So there's nothing else to say from my side. Anybody else want to have the last word?
You were awesome, Liesl. Whoop, whoop.
Lovely. Okay, a big whoop whoop. But I make for all of you a big whoop whoop because you're already 45 minutes on this call and you were a half an hour earlier on with Ria on the call, and Ria was also whoop whoop. So excellent. Really enjoyed it. Had a great time with all of you tonight and looking forward for the further progression. Have a good evening. Have an awesome week, and thank you all.
Thank you, Bea.
Bye. Thank you.